And welcome, everybody, to another Mark Bishop show. You know, it is summertime coming up. The kids are screaming out, hey, Mum, Dad, come on. Can we go see some marine animals this time, please? Well, guess what? No, you can't because it's cruel. You know, folks, there are cruelty-free ways for you to include marine animals in your summer travel plans. And just the lady to tell you how and where, Melanie Johnson. She's the Senior Manager of PETA's Animals in Entertainment Division. Hey, welcome, Melanie.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, PETA is pushing SeaWorld to allow Corky to spend her golden years in a seaside sanctuary, I believe, and they are calling for an end to the dolphin and whale breeding programs, in which the company forcibly breeds the animals. So, Melanie, who is Corky the orca?
Corky has quite a story, so let me fill you in a little bit on her background.
Yeah.
Corky is one of the orcas imprisoned at SeaWorld. She is in San Diego. She's the longest held captive orca in the world, having been in captivity for more than 55 years.
Oh.
I know. In 1969, when Corky was only 4 years old, she was violently torn away from her family and her ocean home off the coast of British Columbia, and that's when she was sold into captivity, where she was used for years as a breeding machine before being purchased by SeaWorld. And one fact people might not know about orcas is that they're devoted mothers who grieve the loss of calves deeply, but none of Corky's 7 babies lived longer than 47 days.
Dear, oh dear, what a sad story. Of course, a lot of people don't know that. It's all changing now, though, thanks to PETA and the work you do. Melanie, if you would, tell us more about what happens to animals at SeaWorld.
At SeaWorld facilities across the country, more than 40 orcas, over 500 other dolphins and whales, and countless other animals have died, and many of those have been premature deaths, including just last week, an 11-year-old orca named Camilla died at SeaWorld San Antonio, making her the 45th orca to die on the company's watch.
Man, you think you'd get a message, wouldn't you? But it's been such a spectacle. But okay, PETA, one of my favorite organizations. So what are you doing to help Corky out of captivity?
PETA is pushing SeaWorld to allow Corky to spend the rest of her life in a seaside sanctuary, which is a safe ocean cove where Corky could dive deep and feel the ocean's currents, all while still receiving the care that she needs. There's actually a team of experts already preparing a sanctuary in her home waters, and there she would possibly even be able to communicate with her brother and sister who still swim freely.
Really? So the brother and sister swim in that area?
Yes. Corky's pod still remains in that area off the coast of British Columbia. Her brother and sister are still free to swim in the ocean, while Corky remains in a tiny concrete tank at SeaWorld San Diego.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So a protected bay, huh? In the home waters of the coast of British Columbia. I mean, imagine yourself, folks, if you were an orca. Would you like that freedom? Or would you like to be put in a cell? Yeah. Fife and Ripple, they're the names of her brother and sister. Okay, so wouldn't it be lovely for her to go back and catch up again? Are there cruelty-free ways for people to include marine animals in their travel plans? Can you tell me that, Melanie?
That's a good question. You know, children have a natural love for animals, so they would never want to visit SeaWorld if they knew how much these animals were suffering there. The good news is that travelers can see animals from a respectful distance in their natural habitats. For example, if you live on the coast, you may be able to see dolphins swimming at the beach. You could go on a hike, visit a park or a nature preserve, go bird watching, and see animals without intruding on or hurting them.
Yeah. I can hear people, it's all very well for you. We don't live near the coast. You know what I mean? It's a big holiday trip to be able to go to a SeaWorld and see all this jazz because our children never would otherwise. It must be hard sometimes, with that coming at you because Peter does what he knows best, and there's no doubt about it. It's good work. In so many areas, so many animals on the planet, and more are being distinct. And I don't know, it's pretty sad. Wild animals, naturally, they avoid contact with humans. So if a company offers direct contact experiences with them or forces them to perform, I guess that's a real sign to stay clear, right?
That's right. Marine parks like SeaWorld and Swim with the Dolphins facilities that allow humans to touch the animals, to swim with them, or if they force them to perform demeaning tricks, those are all signs that you need to stay away from that facility.
All right. So what happens in a case now? I mean, SeaWorld's pretty big, right? Has there been law cases over this? Has big fights going on? What's the outcome?
At SeaWorld, the orcas are crammed into these barren concrete tanks where they can't escape attacks from other frustrated animals. They're forced to perform tricks day in and day out, and they're sometimes given anti-anxiety drugs to combat the stress of extreme captivity and the endless monotony of swimming in circles. Orcas have even broken their teeth chewing on the metal bars and concrete sides of their tanks.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, I know. And every ticket contributes to this suffering, which is why PETA urges everyone to never go to SeaWorld.
Orcas are beautiful, aren't they?
They are.
Absolutely. How long can they live for?
Female orcas in their natural homes in the ocean can live to be 80 years old. And that's why it's especially heartbreaking. The orca Camilla, who died last week, she was only 11 years old.
Oh, good Lord.
And the average age of an orca death at SeaWorld is 14. So they're dying decades far short of their natural life expectancies.
That's not good. That is not good at all. I don't think God put them on the planet to die at a fraction of the length they were supposed to do. By the way, on the site, because PETA has so much stuff, but your website at PETA.org, are there shots of the orcas and what it's like, where they're crammed up and stuff?
Yes. If people visit PETA.org, they can learn more about SeaWorld and Corky. They can see photos and videos of how they are confined to these tiny tanks, and they can also urge SeaWorld to release these animals to seaside sanctuaries.
What do you get when people say to you, and you understand that you're costing jobs, don't you? Huh? The more damage you do to a SeaWorld, the more people are out of work and so on, and it goes down the line. How does one answer that?
PETA isn't trying to shut SeaWorld down altogether. SeaWorld has recently focused more on roller coasters and non-animal events. It could be so successful if they stopped using animals, if they sent the animals to seaside sanctuaries, and PETA would wholeheartedly support a SeaWorld without animals.
Very interesting. What a sad story, huh? Corky the orca, one of SeaWorld's residents, in fact, is the longest held captive orca in the world. Way back in 1969, gee, that's a long way back. She was only 4 years old when she was violently torn away from her family and ocean, and that's off the coast of British Columbia, and sold into captivity, where she was used for years as a breeding machine before being sent to SeaWorld. And orcas, they're devoted mummies who grieve the loss of calves deeply. I feel for them terribly there. And in fact, none of her 7 babies survived past, 47 days. Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. Melanie. You're doing a great job. You got to get this word out and get it across. Okay, Melanie Johnson. And she is PETA's Animals and Entertainment Division, the senior manager there. Thank you for coming online today. Thank you for being on my show. And keep up the good work.
Thank you so much.